50 years ago, when you were starting out or getting into new industries, how did you figure out the operational metrics for a new industry where you did not have previous experience?
Well, we didn't have it thought out that well in a sense at that time, but we basically looked for companies where we thought we could understand what the future would look like 5 or 10 or 15 years hence. And that didn't mean we had to do it to 4 decimal places or anything of the sort, but we had to have a feel for it, and we had to know our limitations. So we stayed away from a lot of things. And at that time, prices were different. So in terms of knowing we were getting enough for our money, it was a much easier decision than it is currently. But there weren't elaborate, there were no planning sessions or anything of the sort. We kept reading and we kept thinking and we kept looking at things that came along, as Charlie described it in the movie, and comparing opportunity A with opportunity B. And in those days we were capital constrained, so we usually had to sell something if we were going to buy something else, and that always makes for that's an interesting challenge always when you're measuring something you hold against something that has come along, and to see which is more attractive. And we probably leaned very much toward things where we felt we were certain to get a decent result than where we were hopeful of getting a brilliant result. That's went with our instincts and kept putting one foot in front of the other. Charlie, what would you say?
Well, that's exactly what we did, and it worked wonderfully well. And part of it is because we're such splendid people and worked so constructively, and part of it is we were a little lucky. We had some good fortune. Now, Warren says he was lucky to go to Geico, but not every 20-year-old was going down to Washington, D.C. and knocking on the doors of empty buildings to try and find something out that he was curious about. So we made some of our luck by being curious and seeking wisdom, and we certainly recommend that to anybody else. And there's nothing that proves his wisdom more thoroughly than really getting your own nose whacked hard when you make a mistake. And we had a fair amount of that, didn't we?
We had plenty of them. If you'll read this book, you'll see about a few of them. We thought we knew about the department store business in Baltimore, and we thought we knew about the trading stamp business. And we've had a lot of experience with bad businesses, and that makes you appreciate a good one. And to some extent, it sharpens your ability to make distinctions between good and bad ones. And we've had a lot of fun along the way. That helps too. I mean, if you're enjoying what you're doing, you're likely to get a better result than if you go to work with your teeth clenched every morning.
I think we were helped because we came from families where there were some admirable people, and we tended to identify other admirable people better than we would have coming from a different background. So my deceased wife used to say, you can't accomplish much in one generation. We owe a considerable amount, both of us, to the families we were raised in. I think the family standards helped us to identify the good people more easily than we would have if we'd had a more disadvantaged background. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Have you still got your father's briefcase? Or?
I still got it, but I don't know where it is. I can't carry it anymore. It's worn out. It's got holes in it.
Yeah. I got my dad's desk from 75 years ago.